What was the process like on this one for you guys? Because it's a great album. I think it's a great follow up to the one before. I go back to some of your guys' earlier stuff, like the release in 2009, and I like that. I don't know, a little bit more funky stuff to it too, you know. And I think it's you guys have really honed in a different kind of rock sound, and I think it's really cool. So just curious as to where you guys were going with this album, taking all those things into consideration.
No, that's badass. I appreciate the kind words. I feel like with COVID and everything, we're all separate physically. Dan and I are both in San Antonio. Johnny is in Baton Rouge, and Ben, our drummer, is in Phoenix. So there's just tons of file sharing going on. We didn't even see each other for a year for a lot of it. So we all kind of like worked on our own things a lot more. I feel like it, and it allowed us to get a lot better at our craft and kind of like paint our own pictures to fruition, you know, instead of having, you know, the other guy like sometimes stop an idea from happening, which can be a bummer. But I don't know. I think basically what I'm saying is we allowed ourselves to go further down the rabbit hole with ideas. So songs like Spirits or whatever, you know, it's 6 minutes long or whatever. Like we have longer songs on this one. It's a bit more progressive. Mm-hmm. And we kind of come from a little more of the progressive roots, I'd say. Though at the same time, I do feel like that there are songs like Best Times, and that'll actually be out at the end of the month. I'm really proud of it because it's just kind of straight up, and it's the positive song on the album. It's uplifting. It's kind of a love song, which is cool, and it starts with electric ukulele, so
wow.
Which is kind of funny. Yeah,
electric ukulele. Where'd you find one of those?
Cheap. But nowadays, you know, with Axe Effects and all these amp emulators, it's like you can't tell that it's a ukulele. It sounds kind of like a clean guitar with a bunch of delay and maybe some warble or something going on. Yeah. But having that starting place, it sparks new ideas. You know, it's a different spot for you, and you can probably relate. Like Tired of Winning is an 8-string song. Spirits is an 8-string song. I never played 8-string before. I just kind of like pushed myself to like, all right, you know, we're gonna have a couple 8-string songs on the album, you know, and it's like I'm doing it, and I'm gonna see what happens. So I'd say that's what's kind of different about this one.
Well, I love that. I love that you touched upon something that people at home might not get all the time. Is that interest in grabbing up other instruments isn't necessarily to be like, oh, I want to play that instrument. Sometimes it's exploring something that takes you. You know, you've played the guitar for how many years you've been playing it, and it's the same notes, it's the same strings, it's the same everything. Maybe I need something a little different to spark an idea. Maybe it doesn't end up happening that way, but it's just, you know, if you don't play the piano, go sit down on the piano and just try and find the notes that way. And sometimes you can really create that way. And I think that's a really awesome thing you just put on there. Like with the 8-string thing, like in Winning Time, I did hear it, and it had like I didn't realize it was an 8-string. First of all, I realized drop tuning, of course, but I thought like had this like heavy 311 or Rage Against the Machine thing with that nice. Initial riff that comes in. Really cool stuff. So it's really interesting to hear how. I mean, what was that riff like for you? Where I mean, was it just, hey, this this drop A sounds great right now, I'm just gonna lay on it for a minute? Right.
Yeah. That one, honestly, Ben, Dan, and myself, just in the jam room, and it felt like, man, we really need something that's just gettable from the start, from the get-go, solid, just like you're saying, kind of like a Rage Against the Machine riff, something with a little maybe Wes Borland in it or whatever, right. So it's like got a unique, weird sound to it or quality, but it's just a good, strong head bobber, and it was like, I think it may actually have been on 6-string first, and then it's like, well, let's change things up. Let's throw this on 8-string and kind of see how this sounds and get it going. So that was just like, you know how the jam room is or whatever. It's like, let's just kind of like get a bunch of crap here. Let's record it all terribly and let's listen back tomorrow or, you know, next week in a month, and it's like, oh, that was good. Let's work on that some more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that was one. It was just like, let's do this on 8-string, even though it originally wasn't. And that's going to kind of like take it out of maybe something we've heard before,
Right.
in regards to, Rage or Limp Bizkit or whatever, and kind of like throw it into a little new territory.
Right.